Hey everybody, welcome. I am super excited to be here with you today because we are doing a phenomenal case study with one of my powerhouse clients, Hind. She has really just blown things out of the water, and I can't wait for her to share her story with you. So I'm going to turn it right over to Hind. Hind, I'm so glad you're here. Why don't you tell us what you do?
Thank you. Well, I work with highly ambitious, successful Muslim women who are looking to create more wealth, create more abundance in their life, and specifically looking to break through the glass ceiling of what they're currently earning in their businesses, turn 2K months into 10K months and beyond.
That is brilliant. So why don't we just talk really quickly about what your results are, because I can't wait to share, and I hope you're excited to share too, because what you do, I mean, this is so important. It's such a testament to what it is that you also help your clients do. So why don't you talk to us about where you were before we started working together, because we've only been working together for 6 weeks now. Where were you before we started, and where are you now?
Yeah, so I was in kind of like my slump in entrepreneurship online. I wanted to make 10K months, and it wasn't because of the 10K, it was because it was what it would symbolize for me. It would be what I could achieve. And what I did was at one point, I just kind of settled, basically. I thought to myself, well, what am I good at? I'm good at making content. So I thought, I'll just make content. I'll just keep my income for at $2,500 every month. And I know it's stable. And then I can later on go for my goals and increase my income, later. Okay. And then I started watching your videos. And you totally spoke to me. So it took a matter of 2 videos, and I was like, I need to talk to this lady, because I felt inside of me that as much as I was doing, and I was creating, I created this like wonderful program, and I was getting amazing results from my clients, and I was really happy doing what I was doing. And yet, I always heard, the Earl Nightingale, your money's in proportion with your service, and everyone talks about that. And I was like, well, I'm serving. Where's the money?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that I was holding myself back. And when you were talking to me, it was like all of your lives were for me. Like you were giving me a personal invitation to wake up. You were giving me a personal invitation to dream again. You were giving me a personal invitation to really step into who I was, because I was playing small. And I was worried about what is everyone going to say if I actually have that money. And I was worried about, am I going to intimidate someone, or am I going to become one of those people that, stands out too much? And what is that going to mean for me? And then I just said, you know what? I'm going to give myself a chance with this. And I contacted you. And from there, it's just been amazing. I don't even know what to say.
So
ask me.
Well, I have so many comments about this. So first of all, let's tell people where you are now. So you were at $2,500 months, settling essentially. Where are you now? Okay.
So in the last 6 weeks, I have booked 58,000 in sales.
Could you say that again, please?
Yeah. So in the last 6 weeks, I've booked 58,000 in sales, and that's been with me working less. That's been with a lot of ease. That's been with me, really excited and joyful, and not feeling like I have to choose, between, producing content, which was what was holding me back before. I thought, gosh, if I produce so much content, there's no way I can, make the money because I'm so busy. And all that stuff is gone. Yesterday's news. And it's really opened up for me what's possible.
Yes. So you've blown me away, because not just the financial result, which is fabulous in and of itself, but what you talked about, the fact that you're able to accomplish these kind of results with a greater sense of ease, without feeling like you have to compromise. And by the way, it's not that you have a ton of time even to spend on your business. And we'll talk about the fact that you were actually working harder than you needed to work when you were making a lot less money. But now I'm sure you get to spend more time with your kids. You're a mom, right?
Yeah, I homeschool, and it's really interesting, because part of the reason why I just settled at that point for those 2.5K months, because my children are really important to me. and my health is important to me, and my whole messaging around is being in integrity, building a business that makes sense according to your values. So I thought, you know, in my mind, which was I didn't understand at that time, was a mindset block. Yeah. I thought, you know, Hind, you want to give your best, and you want to produce all this amazing content, and you want to give value. And surely you can't give all that value and at the same time receive for yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's been, you know, beyond me giving to my children, because that's one thing I always took a stand for. But what's really changed is me being able to, you know, receive on another level and actually give to myself, which I was holding space for everyone else. I was holding space for my clients. I was holding space for my children. I was holding space for my health and my marriage. And that was the one piece that I just needed to give myself permission. Okay, you're serving everyone else and you're building this lifestyle and this business around everyone else working out and everyone else gaining and everyone else benefiting. What about you? What are your dreams? What are you giving up on? What are you not going for right now? And that's been the biggest shift, I think.
It's a brilliant shift, because let's give people some perspective here. You're holding space for a lot of folks. You're a mom of 6, you're married, you've got a lot of clients, right? So that's a lot of people that you're giving to all the time. And it's very easy for us to allow our own dreams, our own desires, our own aspirations to fall to the bottom of the list, to not become a priority. Yeah. So I am beyond proud and excited for you, for what you've been able to achieve for you, right? And also because you're achieving amazing stuff for yourself, your clients' results are also improving as well, as what you shared with me before.
Yeah. It's funny because I always say that you can't coach your client on something that you haven't achieved yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And so that little space that I was holding back and settling, that's what's opened the door for my clients now to step into the exact same space that I have. Because now it's like I can see that, wow, I was completely holding myself back in a story that I was unaware of. And now that I've opened the door, then everyone else is free to join me.
And it's so true. And you said so many things about, you know, some of the challenges that a lot of powerhouses experience, which is playing small, which is, you know, working yourself into exhaustion. I remember one of the things that you shared with me was the sense of guilt that you were feeling, that the success that you're experiencing right now, the amount of money that you're making right now, has been so much easier than it was before, right? I mean, $58,000 in the span of 6 weeks is a big deal, right? Especially coming from where you were coming from. There are people who have 6 and multiple 6-figure businesses who are not seeing that kind of income increase in such a short period of time. So what you've done is phenomenal. And it was really about, I mean, I want you to speak to this, but from my perspective, from my purview, it was really about a lot of the mental shifts that you made, the permissions that you were starting to give to yourself, because you didn't market any harder, right? And, I mean, you weren't doing any of those kind of things, no big launches, no Facebook ads, none of the things that people think are prerequisites for you to kind of get that income bump, right? We didn't do any of that within your business. We actually streamlined a lot of things. We obviously raised your fees so that you could be properly compensated for the massive transformational value of your gifts. But why don't you speak more to, you know, some of the things that you feel like have the biggest impact on you, right? Because I mean, what I want you to also talk to is not just the total $58,000 that you've made, but also how you've made some of that. I mean, you had a $17,000 week last week, right? Through Facebook Private Messenger. That's in and of itself a big deal. So why don't you talk to us about some of the shifts that that made the biggest difference for you?
Sure. I think one of the biggest shifts I had was, I think before, and this is of course all the things you've helped me with, I didn't see myself as that, you know, 6-figure, 7-figure business owner. I continue to see myself as like, this is Hind, and I'm here in my corner doing my work, like whispering from the sidelines, and there's everybody else who's really big and better than me, who's doing great things in the world. And then I realized that, wait a second, I have a really good program, I have a really good system, I get really good results. Why am I continuing to shrink back? And this is the thing that I realized, that everyone's looking for the magic wand. Everyone's seeing what's happening on Facebook. And what I didn't understand was I already had everything I needed. I'd already done the work. It was that, it was that self-perception and that mindset shift, and really giving myself permission to have what I want right now, not making it distant. And I remember you were like, one thing you said was like, if you want to be able to repeat this, you've got to change the way you see yourself.
Yeah.
And people think it can't be that easy. And people feel like mindset's overrated. Everyone talks about it. And it's like, but everyone talks about it, but nobody actually does it.
Yes.
Like what's actually going on, in your mind, and where actually are you being blocked? And do you know where you're being blocked? And do you have a powerful coach to help you pass those blocks? And are you really pushed to your potential? Because I think what really was that you saw in me what I knew was there, but I was just kind of not really stepping into. And
Yeah.
you just were like, what do you want? If you want it, it's here now. If, you can have it. And I was like, okay. And even now you're continuing to like, what's that, and like helping me to celebrate actually, and helping me to see what I've done, and then also helping me to step up and step into what else is possible for me, because it's possible yourself because you've done it.
Yeah.
This is really, I think for me, the most powerful mindset, because I have invested in the past in other programs because I thought it was the Facebook ads that were going to make me the money. And I thought it was, I needed that webinar. And I do really want to do a webinar, but it wasn't it's not what everyone thinks.
Mm-hmm.
It can be that simple. And so the power of really shifting your perception and the really, working through those blocks is absolutely amazing. There's nothing that can replace it, really.
Yeah. Now, again, everything that you shared, golden nuggets, because perception of ourselves. Most people are, they're frustrated. They're attracting clients who can't afford it, or, they're working with clients who feel like they're like heavy lifting clients. And so they think the solution is always look at the marketing. Now, maybe I just need to put more money in Facebook ads. Maybe I need to do a webinar. Maybe, everything that they're looking for as a solution is outside of themselves. And what I teach is completely the opposite, because you can have the best marketing in the world. You can spend thousands of dollars on ads, and still not convert, right? I mean, this is what people are experiencing all day, every day, right? That they have all of this external stuff that they think that they need, and yet the conversions are not coming in as consistently as they like. And even for you, one of the things that you shared is like, you don't have to stress about getting clients anymore. They're literally coming to you, right? Which is amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah. And I think, and one thing you've also taught me is that, and I see this so much more so now, the power of you being okay with being you.
Yeah.
The power of you owning your gifts, the power of you being willing and ready to stand in your power, because so many people are visible, so many people are running ads, so many people are having messages, but it's not them.
Yes.
And so people aren't coming to them because they're not showing who they are, and they're not even clear who they are, and they might have even buried who they are, and they're trying to follow all these strategies and chase all of these things, and the power, what they're looking for is already inside, and they're, what's it called? They're, exporting it, and they're looking and they're searching and searching and searching, but it actually doesn't really matter until they really, and this is what you're great at, is like really, for women who are high achievers and ambitious and who've been told their whole life, you're too much.
Yes.
And who've been told their whole life, like, the person who's always like perfect and makes the good grades, and everyone gets annoyed with them because, oh, you got an A on your test again, and that kind of thing. And so it's like giving us permission to say, I see you, and I know you can do this, and I'm going to stand with you, and you don't have to keep shrinking back. In fact, you're going to have your success in you becoming you, and you allowing yourself to show, and you allowing your talents to flow from you. Stop holding yourself back, because that is what's keeping you from having what you want.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, obviously this has been my journey, which is why I can see you guys so well. And what I observe, and it's astonishing to me how many extremely powerful women, very smart, very gifted, opportunities that seem like a big deal to everyone else literally can fall in our laps. And at the same time, when we're not aware of the guilt and the shame that we feel around that, we can actually create resistance. We can actually push it away from us. And we create that sense of struggle. Like even what you shared with me, when you were putting so many hours into your business, when you could get the content created like that, but you felt the need to have to work harder, because if you don't work harder, then you kind of think to yourself, well, I'm a jerk. right? Because people think that when it comes too easily for you, you are a jerk. Or, I mean, you know what I mean? That's typically the impression that has been imparted to many of us. So it is also about allowing yourself to release that, to number one, recognize that those are not your values, right? Those are things that you internalized, and you get to choose to release them and be more of yourself. One of the things I talk about is that it is in fact easy for us. So I was so happy to hear you say that getting to, you know, the level of income that you've been able to create, you did that with a greater sense of ease, because when you are operating from your gifts, from your unique combination of gifts, skills, and talents, it is going to be easy for you, right?
Yeah.
It is.
No, and you know what? It sounds like I can imagine there's somebody listening who thinks like it can't be that simple. It's got to be more complicated. This is just a marketing scam. They're not really telling the truth. And guys, it's that easy. It's that simple. And it's so funny because I had a conversation with a client today, and I was like, you are hiding behind being busy. You are hiding behind creating drama for yourself so that you can feel worthy of receiving, because it's like that's the barrier, right? And that's what I was able to see in myself, and now I can see it and call it in my clients as well.
Yeah, you're brilliant. You know I love you. So let's talk about your fees, because those have changed significantly. Do you want to share where you were and where you are right now in terms of what your fee structure looks like?
Wow, yeah. So my fees have Forexed.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm talking to people, and it's really, what's really been interesting for me is that now that I have my mindset shift, I cannot sell packages at the same rate I used to. Like those sales people say no to me. And I'm like, really? It's so interesting because I'm past that now, actually, that energetic,
yes,
at that level. And so it's funny because the yeses I'm getting are at the higher ticket prices that I'm offering now. Yeah. And the no's that I'm getting are like for the kind of ones that I had still made those lower end offers. So yeah, I Forexed my fees, and I'm actually at every moment I'm like, you know, they're increasing, because I can understand that the value of what we do, that what I do and what you do, that the number is just an approximation of what fits into our life. Mm-hmm. Like really the service that we impart is priceless. Yeah. And we're just giving a number to approximate, you know, because I can't be working day and night. It's not part of my value system. And actually, if I'm going to give you better results, if you invest at a higher amount than if you had invested in a lower amount, because you're more in, right? Yeah. You're ready to do the work. You know, like I always say to my clients, if you had to pay $100,000 for a coaching package, you would interact a lot differently than if you paid $100.
You'd show up.
You definitely would show up. You're like, I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna make a way. Like, watch out. You know, it would not even be a question, because you're the energy in which you and so I realized that actually it's better for me to charge more, because the energy that people come, you know, and interact in the coaching is completely different. Because there's more personal investment, there's more responsibility, there's more showing up. And it's like, you know, you don't have, you know, when you have a lower investment product, you know, there's time to play, right?
Yeah, it's almost like a throwaway. It's like, yeah,
right, exactly.
But, you know,
exactly.
Not enough skin in the game to hold you accountable.
Right.
So I'm just thinking here, we've covered a lot already in terms of, you know, some of the things that you've tried, some of the things that you feel like have been the most beneficial since our time of working together. What do you think is now possible for you?
Ooh, well, I have, I mean, you know, it's interesting because I saw myself as a millionaire before. That's always been a goal of mine. And now I'm looking at 6-figure months as a goal versus a 6-figure year.
I mean, look how close you are. I mean, yeah. I mean, you're on track. I mean, let's be honest here. And your numbers change so frequently. I mean, you'll say to me, "This is how much I made," and then the next day it's like, "I made another sale," which is awesome. I mean, you know, because this is important to know. Remember what we talked about earlier in reference to how you perceive yourself. So the way that you see yourself has completely shifted, because now it's not like these kind of like a sale and then, wait a couple days or wait a couple weeks for another sale, like that slow kind of crawl, which is what allows so many people to shrink back, which is why so many people will have they'll have like a steady, like you were averaging like 2,500, but you had occasional high peaks and you'd come back, right? But what's been different about this experience is that you keep going up, like the sales keep happening. So you're not going to regress, which is important for people to be aware of, because there are so many people in this industry who are experiencing this up and down, this money roller coaster nonsense, right? And for you, you can see you're not just sustaining, you're actually consistently increasing, which is brilliant. This is exactly where we want you to be, right? Yeah. So again, your success is just phenomenal. What else would you like to share? For anyone who's watching, listening, has any questions, or actually, let me ask you this. What would have stopped you from working with me? Was there anything going on, in your life, in your business, whatever, that made you say, I don't know if I can do this?
Yeah. So, do you mind me sharing how I invested? Do you mind me sharing my story?
Yeah.
What I want to say is that I'm a person who invests, and I am a person who invests regularly. And when I heard your fee, I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. That was the first thing that came in my head. And then I thought, through your coaching, how am I going to break out of the cycle?
Yeah.
Right? And you gave me an opportunity that you can end this right now, or you can just go back into your hole. You didn't say that, but you can just shrink back again and just wait around to see if it'll happen and when it will happen. So it was I haven't actually invested at that level before personally. It's always been I got it from somewhere. But the cool thing this time, I did it myself. Alhamdulillah. I was you know what? I just have to do this. And really now it's given me confidence in dealing with objections in sales, because I know that psychology, and I was there, and I literally, if I look back now, I can, because I invested, I can see the results that I was able to get. And I also can see if I hadn't invested, where would I be?
Yes.
In the year? Yeah. And that's really real to me. And so the biggest thing I've learned is I just have to walk my talk. And this is one thing that this relationship has really done for me, because this was a stretch for me. It really was. And I'm so grateful for the sales process and for you showing me that mirror, because it just changed my life.
Yeah.
And you got money out of it, but I got something far, more, and all of my clients will get that. And it's just this huge ripple effect and that you've opened for me and the people who I serve, actually. Because now I know what I can do. I'm you guys can do this.
Yeah.
It's totally possible for you to do this.
It changes you. It on an energetic level, it changes you.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so proud. I'm so happy. I don't even know. I have so many words to describe. Because you are a dream ideal client for me. I love working with women like you who you don't allow your external circumstances to get in your way. You're I want this. I'm going to make it happen. And you went out there and you did it. You turned around within a week, and you made your investment back. It was amazing. And to see you continue to progress in that way. I'm honored to be your coach and to be your mentor and to support you on this journey, because I see massive things ahead for you. So if you can share, if maybe there was a word or phrase that you would use to describe what it's been like, our coaching relationship, what would that be?
Wow. Can I just say wow?
Okay.
Life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like to cry, so maybe I won't cry now, but beyond the money, just me finally accepting who I am, that's been huge.
Yeah.
That's been huge. It's I have my cake, and then the money's the icing, and I've got sparkles and sprinkles and jelly beans and all kinds of stuff going on now. But really, what I feel is, I never could really accept myself who I was, and that whole, I know this isn't even what you do, but the whole self-love piece and the whole just being okay with who I am, and the whole allowing myself to shine and giving myself permission to not butt my tongue and to say what I want to say and to stop caring what people think, and to understand that, you know, I've been blessed with these gifts and I have value to add to the world. And, you know, that has been huge for me. It's been huge for me. And it's like you just gave me my life. Yeah, so I'm grateful. Thank you.
I think I had to hold back the tears just now because you're welcome, by the way. And I want to acknowledge the fact that you did the work. Like, you had to be a willing participant on this journey, right? I mean, I could see it. I could see this potential in you from our very first conversation, and I took a stand for that. But you had to be the one to say yes, and you did. And you like dove all the way in, feet first. And I admire you, you know, like, obviously you're my client, but I also really admire women who are brazen enough, like, to go for what they want, no matter what. And you light me up, and it's been an absolute joy to work with you. And I'm so excited that we're going to continue to work together because, you know, what you have to offer it's life-changing in and of itself. I mean, obviously you take from our experience and what we've done together, and then you get to impart that on your clients, and then they get to impart that on their clients, and there's this big ripple effect, right? So I love what I do because I love to help women become financially independent and be able to call their own shots in their business and be able to be at choice in all relationships in their lives, you know, business and personal. I also love what I do because of what you said. When a powerhouse is finally able to love, honor, respect, and appreciate herself without shrinking back, without dimming her light, without trying to walk around kind of tiptoe and not take up too much space because we don't want to make anybody else uncomfortable, right? When you can just show up in all your glory and be who you are and get paid for that, like, it's amazing. I love it. I just totally, like, you made my day today, like, with this conversation, because this is why I do what I do, you know? So, are there any final words that you want to share with anyone before we wrap up?
Yeah, because I had a live I had today, and similar thing I wanted to say, because it's going back to the fact that for the ladies who are listening, and the distance between what you want and what's going on with you now is just a simple step. It could be a conversation away. Yeah. It could be an application away. It could be just like, you know, you brave enough to say, I need this. Yeah. And you vulnerable enough to say, I need help. And to say, like, if I could have done it before, I would have already done it. Right? And that, don't waste the opportunity because you might not have it, you know, and you don't know how things can work out. And so give yourself that chance just to be curious. What if, and to allow yourself to finally have what you want, because it's just literally a call away, an application away with Desiree. It's waiting there for you. So it's just like the ball's in your court. Thank you.
Awesome. So it's been amazing to have you here. If people want to get in touch with you or find out more about you, where can they go?
Great question. I have a website, healingwithind.com. I have a Facebook group, Healing with Hind, where I talk about all these wonderful things and, you know, going for your dreams, being yourself, loving yourself, healing for the sake of Allah. And you can find me there.
Awesome. So It's been a pleasure having you today, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.